Thank you so much for joining me today. Today we're going to talk about domain spoofing, and if you are or your users are getting a lot of emails delivered to them, and some of those emails looks like it's genuinely has come from your own domain or your IT team or some of your top users in your account or in your organizations, and asking your other employees or users to do some high value activities like changing their email password or providing a payroll update information or maybe doing some bank transfer, some of those kind of things. Now let's look at why some of these emails bypasses all the filters and still gets delivered to your environment. We'll see some of the common mistake that our organizations administrator really does on their Office 365 tenant, and allow these emails to fall in or come in. I'm going to do a similar exercise here. So I'm going to go to an online tool and try to send an email to one of my user called Xander, and the email would look like it's coming from internal organization. So I've already populated a lot of information, and it will look like it is coming from an internal email called payroll department, and the email would basically asks me to change or provide my additional bank information because otherwise my salary is not credited next month. So let's go ahead and see what happens when I send this email to this user. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit the send button. Now the email is gone. Now let's go back to my mailbox and let's see what happens there. Now the email has just arrived. So now if I open this email, you can see here that the email has the right form address. So if I hover my mouse in here, it is actually showing me it has come from my own organization, misconfiguration.in, and it has of course a link here. When I click on this link, of course the next layer of protection from Office 365 ATP comes in the picture of safe link, and then protects the user from going any further to this link which might be malicious. Now here the email did get delivered. Now let's understand why this email got delivered in the first place, because it's clearly a spoofing. So let's go ahead and take a look at the the message header and information like SFV value. The SFV value on this header is SKA, which basically means that the email bypass filtering because of a rule. Also the SCL value, is -1. So if you're getting an email where the SCL value is -1, it means that it clearly has bypassed all the content filtering, because there is a rule in here which basically whitelisted this email. So let us look at our anti-spam policy and let's see what could have gone wrong here. So if I go to my whitelisted domain or allowed domain list, I see that my own domain is whitelisted, and trust me, a lot of organization does that. They fear that maybe their internal emails might get delivered into junk mailbox folder, or it basically implies that trust all the emails coming with this domain name. Apparently an external attacker can also use this against you. If you see any email, if you go ahead and if you go ahead and whitelist your own domain, then an external attacker will basically go ahead and use this against you, and they will send out email from outside spoofing your own domain, and this domain and it will bypass all the filtering, because you apparently have whitelisted any email coming in this name or in the name of your domain, that is misconfiguration.in in this case, will bypass all the machine learning and all the filters of anti-spam, anti-phishing, and so on. So let's see. So now we have removed our misconfiguration.in domain from our anti-spam allowed domain list. Now let's go ahead and do this exercise all over again, and now this time I'm going to send the same email to this user again, but this time around there is no whitelisting of my own domain. So let's do this again. So I just created, instead of writing the whole thing, I'm just going to write a click here, hyperlink with the same URL and some text at the bottom. Now the email is gone. Now let's go to my mailbox and see what exactly happened there. So email has not arrived on the inbox here. Let's give it a couple of more seconds. It doesn't look like it's going to come here in the inbox. Let's check my junk mailbox. All right, so the email actually has landed in my junk mailbox now. The same email, the same from address and everything was going to my inbox earlier because we did a whitelisting of my own domain. Of course, safe link policy is still applicable. So when the user clicks on the URL and the URL is pointing to a malicious site, that will get blocked. But the email has now not landed in my inbox. Now, if I look at the message header and I look at in the SCL score, the SCL score is not -1, which means that it has not bypassed filtering. The SCL score in this case is high. It's much higher, and it comes under the spam category or a fish category. Also, if I look at the SFV value, the SFV value is now going to call this as spam. So let me search for it. So SFV, all right, so SFV value is now spam, which was earlier was showing SKA, which indicates that the message was bypassed filtering because of a rule. All right, so this is how you should configure your 365 setting. If you have a domain that is your own and it is whitelisted, trust me, you can expect a lot of emails coming in and getting dropped to your users inbox without being filtered out. And not just your own domain, you should not whitelist any domain in the anti-spam setting for the same reason, because other domains can also get spoofed. And since you have whitelisted them, you basically saying that any emails coming in this name, in this from address which has this domain, don't apply any content filtering on top of it and simply bypass it. So from now on, if you go ahead and look at your own whitelisting policy, do you have your own domains? Do you have other domains which are whitelisted in here? You're actually opening you're opening quite a door and leaving it open for others to attack you by spoofing the domains that you have whitelisted. So go ahead and remove them from whitelisting. There are other ways of whitelisting, which are safe whitelisting, which we're going to talk about in some other videos in coming days. All right, so I hope this was useful. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked my videos, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and we'll talk more about information security. Thank you.